Alright, so my recording just cut out. Might upload this as a second part, or I might just edit this. Hopefully I can edit it onto the last video, but anyways, starting off where I left off, I use exponential growth, or incremental growth, sorry, and it is a sorcery. Put a +1/+1 counter on target creature if it... Oh my gosh, camera, can you focus? Camera. Yoo-hoo! Hey, camera! Why is my camera doing this? What in the world? Why won't it focus? Okay. I don't know why my camera's not focusing. Oh, I think it did. You can see a bit better now. There we go. Put a +1/+1 counter on target creature. Put 2+1 plus bleh. 2+1/+1 counters on another target creature, and 3+1/+1 counters on a third target creature. If possible, I try and use the 3+1/+1 counters on Neeson Asp, and giving it, of course, 3 more with the monstrosity and the other +1 counter from Ghostly Wings. I also use Shoulder to Shoulder, who has a support 2, and it puts +1/+1 counter on up to 2 target creatures, on each of up to 2 target creatures, and it allows me to draw a card. I put the counter on that. I also use Solidary of Heroes. I am so happy I managed to find this card. Reason here is it's an instant and it has Strive. Solidary of Heroes costs 1 of any mana and 1 of grass, or 1 forest, more to cast for each target beyond the first. Here's the reason why I like it. Choose any number of target creatures, double the number of +1/+1 counters on each of them. I think I have a couple more +1 like adding creatures or cards, whatever, here, and you'll see why I use it and why I say that Neeson Asp is my strongest creature. Oh, is that it? Okay. I thought I had more. Oh well. Okay. Anyways, here's the other one I use. Expedition Raptor. It is a 2/2, and it has flying, and whenever he enters the battlefield, he gets support 2, which allows me to put +1/+1 counter on each of up to 2 other target creatures. Now, this thing, using Monstrosity, would become a 8/9. Adding one of the +1/+1 counters, a 9/10. Adding 3, 9, 10, 13/14, a 14/15, 15/16, and then, let's see here. What did I say? 15/16? That would make it 22 extra, making it a 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27 creature. And that's why it is my strongest card. That is, if I can get it out. So, there's that. And personally, I don't really care what you guys might... Now, I'm not trying to be mean about this, but I don't really care about what you guys might think about my deck. I mean, I know I might get bad raps because I feel like I am using a bit too many additions like that, like Solitary of Heroes and whatnot. but it actually helps me. Like, I've played this deck against my friend a couple times. I think maybe actually once, twice, without some of these cards, and I was very lucky to get him to surrender. But I have yet to truly beat him. I don't really want to have him surrender. That's not counting. To me, that doesn't count as a true uh, win. But anyways, going on. I use 2 Grazing Glade Hearts. It is a 2/2, and it has landfall. Whenever a land enters the battlefield under your control, you may gain 2 life. So those are really helpful. Next card I use is Commencement of Festivities, and it prevents all combat damage that would be dealt to players this turn. I have found out that there is a card similar to this that was from like 19 something, and it was Fog, or Combat Fog, or whatever, and it did the same exact thing. Next card is the Inkwell Leviathan. It is a 7/11. It is an artifact creature. You gonna... Hello, camera. Don't do this to me again. Camera. There we go. You can kind of see it a bit better. Camera. Focus. Yoo-hoo. Why is my camera doing this? There we go. It has Trample, Island Walk, and Shroud. Of course, Island Walk, this creature cannot be blocked as long as the defending player controls an island. And Shroud, it cannot be the target of spells or abilities. It's nice to have, but I rarely get it out. Just because it is so mana heavy, I guess you could say. Anyways, moving on. I use a Pulse of Mursa, which my camera will actually be nice. Hello? Return target creature or land card from a graveyard to its owner's hand. You gain 6 life. This is really helpful because I can get out, like, say, Inkwell Leviathan or Nisan Asp. Maybe even Nissa. Next, I use a double-sided card. It is Sage of Ancient Lore. He is a, guess you could say like a question mark. But his abilities are Sage of Ancient Lore's power and toughness are equal to the number of cards in your hand. When Sage of Ancient Lore enters the battlefield, draw a card. At the beginning of each upkeep, if no spells were cast last turn, transform Sage of Ancient Lore. His transformation is a werewolf. Now, I don't know if you could see all that. I was just kind of, I don't know if you could see all this. I was just kind of turning my head to the side and reading over top my phone. But anyways, his transformation has Vigilance, and Trample. Werewolf of Ancient Hunger's power and toughness are equal to the total number of cards in all players' hands. And I think that's really sick. At the beginning of each upkeep, if a player casts 2 or more spells last turn, transform a Werewolf of Ancient Hunger. So, and I have yet to get him out. Actually, no, I have gotten him out once, but that was it. I also use a Custody Squire, and I think this one's actually kind of cool. It is a 3/3, it has Flying, and Will of the Council. When Custody Squire enters the battlefield, starting with you, and each player votes for an artifact, creature, or enchantment card in your graveyard, return each card with the most votes or tied for the most votes to your hand. I think that's really nice, because it's another card that can easily get cards out of the graveyard. However, instead of just getting out one card, say like you're playing against 4 people, you can get up to 4 cards out of your graveyard and back into your hand. Next, to get Nissa and Nature's Artisan out of the graveyard or my deck, I use 2 Verdant Crescendos. Sorry if my pronunciation is a bit bad. But they are sorceries, and they just basically let me search my library or my deck for a basic land card, put it onto the battlefield tapped, and then search my library or deck and graveyard for Nissa, and then I shuffle it into my deck. Wait, what? Oh, okay, sorry. Not shuffle it into your deck. I put it into my hand and then shuffle my deck. I'm gonna end this part here just because of storage and capacity reasons. So if you want, I will be uploading the next part here in a little bit, or well, yeah. So I'll see you in that part. Bye.